So many of you ladies are asking me to do more videos on feminine fragrances, and also a lot of you ask me to do videos on budget fragrances. Well, today I've combined both. Feminine fragrances on the budget, really inexpensive quality fragrances. I'm going to let you know what they are coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian. I've got 12 fragrances here that are really great quality, and also they won't break your bank. Like, you can find these fragrances around 50 or under. So what I've done here for you, I've ranked a list of fragrances, and I've also created a chart that shows me how much per mil price is. A lot of these fragrances are going to be around $25, so they're really inexpensive, but I've made sure to make sure that they are quality fragrances and they smell great and do perform pretty decently. Of course, a lot of inexpensive fragrances, the performance might not be as great as some of the niche fragrances that we pay hundreds of dollars for, but still, since they're inexpensive, they do have pretty decent longevity. These are not beast mode, unfortunately. But we're gonna go ahead and get started, and I'm gonna tell you about the fragrance name, what the notes are, price point, and per mil price. Starting off with a fragrance from the House of Guess. This is one of my first two Guess fragrances. They're both here in this list, and they're both feminine fragrances. This is Guess Seductive Red, this one right here. Currently selling for a 75 ml at $22. This is a cherry bomb, but it's cherries, gourmand, it's fruity, it's floral, woody, and sweet at the same time. And 75 ml for $22. So per mil price is 32 cents. So it's a really inexpensive fragrance, and definitely I think it's worth it, but it is ranked at the bottom here. It's cherry in the end, with cherries, almonds, vanilla, pink pepper, tonka beans, cherry blossom, sandalwood, violet, and magnolia. To me, it smells great. It could be a great alternative for Lost Cherry. It's not identical. For me, it doesn't have much booziness like the Lost Cherry does. But still, I think it can totally come off as a great alternative for Lost Cherry if you think the price point for Tom Ford's Lost Cherry is really expensive, not inexpensive, because this is really inexpensive and it has decent performance. For me, it's not beastly, but on skin it doesn't last as long as on clothes. But if you want that idea or the style of a Lost Cherry or a cherry bomb, definitely I think Seductive Red is going to satisfy. So it's a really inexpensive offering, and I think if you're into the idea, definitely check that out. But here at number 11, this is a ranked list. We're going to the House of LANVIN. It's OXYGENE, this one right here. Fragrance created by Alberto Morillas. So this is a woody, milky floral fragrance. Currently selling 75 ml for $24. So it's 35 cents per mil. So again, very inexpensive, and definitely quality fragrance from a fairly underrated French house, LANVIN. And it's milk, gardenia, black pepper, sandalwood, iris, rose, bergamot. For me, it's kind of like a feminine take on a not so, well, I should say it's spicy, kind of like something like Zadig and Voltaire's For Him in the black bottle, but with more of a floral kick to it. It also has a very prominent sandalwood note, so it comes off very woody, but a creamy, milky sandalwood. It makes sense because gardenias do have a kind of milky quality to them, and then of course sandalwood can come off like that as well. Here they've combined those three notes to create this kind of a floral, creamy, milky woodiness. Then you've got powdery touches with the iris, and then there's, some touches of rose and some light citruses as well. It's a fairly cozy fragrance. If you like the idea of a woody floral fragrance that has lactonic, milky qualities, then LANVIN's OXYGENE should satisfy. Let me know if you've tried that one. What do you think? Do you know the House of LANVIN? Again, it's a very underrated designer house from France. I think definitely worth checking out. But we're going with another fragrance here at number 10 from the House of VICTORINOX. I've spoken quite a bit about budget fragrances for men from the House of VICTORINOX, but now I've got two here on this list. This is Morning Dew, this one right here. Morning Dew currently sells for 100 ml at $16, which means it's around 17 cents per mil. Very inexpensive. This is a great freshie if you like the idea of fresh floral and green woody fragrances. It features notes of watery notes. It's morning dew, obviously, right? So the idea that they've done here, the captured, is this watery kind of a dewy experience. So there's watery notes, mountain air, citruses, pink pepper, Edelweiss, which is Alpine flower, violets, cedar, musk, and amber. I think it's a really great fragrance. It's also not necessarily very feminine, so a man can pull this one off totally. And it really is a very clean, fresh fragrance, definitely capturing the idea of a Swiss Alps kind of an experience, because Victorinox is a Swiss brand, and so they're kind of inspired by the whole Alpine Swiss kind of experience here. I think it's a really great quality fragrance. Again, it's perfect in the heat. This is a very fresh fragrance. The watery, airy, ethereal kind of idea really comes to play here with this one. And if you're the type that likes freshies in the summertime, totally do a morning dew from the house of Victorinox. Again, 100 ml for 16 bucks is so inexpensive. You're totally going to be happy with that one. But moving on to the house of KARL Lagerfeld. This is Rome Divino Amore, this one right here. So Divino Amore is a fresh citrusy floral fragrance currently selling for 100 ml at $24, so around 26 cents per mil. Really, really inexpensive. And once again, just like the previous fragrance, Morning Dew, we've got a very fresh fragrance here, a fresh citrusy floral fragrance that's perfect in the summertime, I think. So it features notes of oranges, Petitgrain, jasmine, bitter orange, neroli, musk, and sandalwood. If you are a fan of citrusy fragrances, citrusy floral fragrances, citrusy kind of green leafy fragrances, this is definitely one that you have to get your nose on. It's really inexpensive and it's going to be perfect in the summertime, as I said. Or if you just like these kind of very invigorating, fresh citrusy fragrances, this is going to satisfy. In fact, it's all citruses up top, and then in the heart, it settles to a musky, woody fragrance when it's drying down. The sandalwood is very present, very calming, very clean and creamy. And so it's a perfect juxtaposition from all the freshness that's up top to the woody muskiness in the base, with a little bit of an ambery touch as well. But definitely quality release from the house of KARL Lagerfeld. This is Rome Divino Amore. I think Italy is the inspiration. Rome, I can totally see the citruses perfectly, creating this inspiration for Italy, Rome, and all the citruses that grow outside of the city into the, in the villages and farms and things like that. So this is KARL Lagerfeld's Rome Divino Amore. Let me know if you've sampled these fragrances so far. What do you think? If you're a fan of them, or do you hate them? Because depends on the person. Sometimes some people think I don't really like inexpensive fragrances. I mostly like the expensive luxury niche offerings. But no, I don't really have an issue with the budget fragrances. As long as they smell great and they're pretty good quality, I'm fine with them. So let me know if you're a fan of these fragrances so far. So next, we're going back to the house of Guess. It's Seductive Noir, this one right here. So currently selling at $21 for a 75 ml. So it's a 30 cents per mil price for this one. This one I enjoy more than the red one. This one to me is kind of a custardy, creamy, vanillic fragrance that has a bit of milky creaminess in there, which is really cozy and comforting. Seductive Noir, maybe the name doesn't fit it too much, but for me, I felt it was very cozy and definitely much more enjoyable than the Seductive Red. So this has notes of vanilla, iris, vetiver, jasmine, sambac, sage, lily of the valley, velvet note, and peony. So it does have a combination of floral notes, but for me, this is kind of a buttery, creamy vanilla with iris. And I think it's the iris that's creating this kind of a butteriness, almost like milk custard kind of an effect for me when I wear it. So because of this, it creates a very cozy quality. So really enjoyable fragrance. And if you're into gourmands, as a man, you might be able to pull this one off as well. But honestly, there's no rules. If you like the fragrances I'm talking about today and you're a man, go ahead and wear them. But some, like this LANVIN, is quite masculine. Some of the fragrances that I'm talking about are not necessarily very feminine. And again, this one also, it's so cozy and comforting with that whole vanilla iris combo. And again, the iris in there is kind of buttery, creamy. So it's a very soothing wear. It can be a great bed scent and it won't break the bank. Because 75 ml for $21 at 30 cents per mil is totally, totally awesome. So this is Guess Seductive Noir. Those prices, per mil prices, do include tax, by the way. Local taxes here. All right, moving on to a house called BLUMARINE, and this is a fragrance called Let You Love Me, this one right here. Are you guys familiar with this one? The reason I bought this one is because I read that it was a great alternative to Dolce & Gabbana's Buy. Is it really? No, it's not. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. I mean, they've tried to kind of emulate kind of a similar thing. Or is that why some people thought some of the notes are similar and they've got this kind of animal print on here and they matched it with Buy? It really isn't an alternative, maybe very faintly, but as a fragrance on its own, once again, it's a really great offering for a feminine wearing, or if you're a man and you like these kind of notes, go ahead and wear it. But this is the most expensive out of the entire collection of fragrances I'm talking about today. 100 ml, $51, so it's about 55 cents per mil. But it is definitely very aromatic with the lavender. It has loads of lavender here, along with vanilla, orange blossom, patchouli, laurinox, muguene, geranium, black pepper, ylang-ylang. So it has lots of floral touches, a bit of yellow tropical floral touch. It does have spiciness. The lavender provides the spiciness, along with the black pepper and the geranium here. So it's very aromatic with the lavender and geranium. It's also sweet with the vanilla and the orange blossom in here, and then it has some definitely has some great earthy touches with the very sexy patchouli. Again, I think if you like the idea of thinking maybe you're wearing Dolce & Gabbana's Buy for her or women, maybe get it, but don't get it because it's an alternative of that fragrance. I think the fragrance itself is pretty quality, and so that's why I'm recommending it here at number 7. So it's BLUMARINE, Let You Love Me. Not Let Me Love You, but Let You Love Me. Then moving on to VICTORINOX. Once again, it's First Snow. First Snow is very enveloping and almost like a second skin. It's not very loud on me, but it does have vanilla, so it does get sweet, along with tonka, eucalyptus, white tea, orange blossom, white musk. It's the white musk, the white tea, and the vanilla here that has this kind of very enveloping and a kind of second skin-like quality. It doesn't really overwhelm, but it does have some depth to it, but it wears like a very musky, clean fragrance, even though it features the vanilla. There's also tonka here, eucalyptus for this kind of green camphoric spicy bitterness, orange blossom, of course, the white tea, and the white musk. It currently sells for 100 ml for $27, so it's about 29 cents per mil, so it's not going to break the bank. I think both of these are really quality offerings from the house of VICTORINOX. This is Morning Dew. Remember, I spoke about that just a little bit ago. And then, of course, First Snow. Is there a watery effect here? I can see that a little bit. It's not necessarily like water, but it's called First Snow. So it's got a bit kind of a frosty, clean effect rather than something watery like the other VICTORINOX fragrance. But it's a really great offering, especially if you're a budget-minded person. And definitely, once again, it's something that you can wear in the spring and summertime, even in the autumn. But I also find it as a great bed scent because white musk, musky notes, and vanilla all together gives you a very calming effect when I wear them, and it soothes you into sleep if you're trying to fall asleep and things like that. So this is First Snow from the house of VICTORINOX. Let me know if you're a fan of that one. And speaking of vanilla, we've got another vanillic fragrance here. This is from the house of Lalique. It's Le Parfum. So Le Parfum, created by Dominique Ropian, is currently selling for 100 ml at $30. So it's around 33 cents per mil. That's including the tax, as I said. It's a vanilla bomb with tonka, sandalwood, heliotrope, West Indian bay, pink pepper, almonds, and jasmine. So it's a bit nutty. Definitely heliotrope and almonds provides you the nuttiness because heliotrope comes off a bit almondy. So it accentuates the almondy effect, but also provides a powderiness. Tonka giving you that kind of sweet bitterness that I like in fragrances. Vanilla for sure sweet. It's a vanilla fragrance. And the sandalwood adds a very smooth, creamy effect here. It's the West Indian bay that's providing this kind of a very interesting green effect running throughout the fragrance, and of course some light floral touches in here as well, and some spiciness from pink pepper. It's a great offering. 100 ml for 33 $30 is a really great fragrance. Again, you can wear it throughout the day, and you can also wear it to bed because it's, again, very soothing and cozy and comforting here with this fragrance. So this is Lalique Le Parfum. Let me know your thoughts if you're a fan of that one. I've recommended that one quite a bit on the channel. Next, going to the House of Reminiscence, it's Dragé, this one right here. So there used to be 3 fragrances in this collection, the pink one and the green one, which seem to have been completely sold out. Can't get them. I did a video on them about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. And so now this is the only one left. It's currently selling for 43 bucks. So about 47 cents per mil. This is the second most expensive in the collection. And if you like the idea of Jordan almonds, you got to get your hand on a bottle of this one before it sells out. So it's almonds, almond blossom, orange blossom, vanilla, musk, cardamom, mandarin orange, petitgrain, plums, and cedar. And even though they had a pink fragrance, a pink bottle that reminded me of Love Don't Be Shy, this one also reminds me of a Love Don't Be Shy offspring, but more of an almondy kind of a Love Don't Be Shy effect rather than without the almonds, because it's very almondy and it's inspired by the Jordan almonds or the candied almonds with the, you know, pastel colored candy on top of almonds. I think that's what Dragé is. But it's a really great gourmand, really wonderful house. This house is known for their patchouli. But this trio of fragrances was great. Hopefully they'll bring it back, but probably not. They're phasing out this fragrance. But if you like the idea of Jordan Almonds inspired fragrance with a bit of a Love Don't Be Shy effect, definitely try Reminiscence Dragé. I think it's definitely worth it. So moving on to the House of Mauboussin. This is the first feminine fragrance I'm talking about from the House of Mauboussin. This is Mauboussin in red, this one right here. Currently selling at 100 ml for 26 bucks. 28 cents per mil. Like 2 years ago, I visited the Netherlands and we met up with a friend there, and I kept smelling her fragrance, her perfume, and I kept really getting these really nice whiffs. First, it would remind me of something like Baccarat Rouge. Then I would get some fruits, maybe a bit of gourmand touches, and I was like really intoxicated by her smell. And I had to ask her what she was wearing. She said, "Oh, my husband got me this." I'm like, okay. That smells really good. So I looked it up. It was only 26 bucks. So 28 cents per mil. It's a really fruity floral take on something like Baccarat Rouge because it's in there. There's ambroxan in here, which is not like totally like Baccarat Rouge because it has those fruits and flowers. It's almost like taking Baccarat Rouge, mixing it with some chocolatey touches, and then throwing in Delina in there as well. And then some other fruity fragrances, and this is what you get with it. It's a really nice fragrance, and I was surprised because when I test this fragrance out, it doesn't seem like it has this oomph about it. It's a bit flat, but on her, it smelled so good, and every time she'd move around, I can get her trail. So it really was, you know, giving me this really great vibes. And I think it's still worth it. 100 ml for 26 bucks. You get all these different styles of fragrances in one, and you'll be reminded a little bit of Baccarat Rouge and everything. And so, yeah, I think it's totally worth it. And comes with this very interesting looking bottle. So this is Mauboussin in red from the House of Mauboussin. It's a French jewelry brand. Next, going to the House of Youp. This is LANVIN. This one I've also recommended quite a bit. And I'm a great fan of this one. It's another Dominic... No, wait, this is not a Dominic Ropion creation. What am I saying? It's tonka beans, vanilla, amber, musk, sandalwood, patchouli, jasmine, orange blossom. And it's actually a great alternative to something like what we do in Paris, A Secret, from the House of... Used to be called The Lab on Fire. It's now called What We Do, A Secret. That fragrance is created by Dominic Ropion. I don't know if this is created by him. I don't think so. This came out before that fragrance. Although the other seems to be more gourmand, but this one definitely does create a great alternative for that fragrance. So if you like that one, it's too pricey for you, definitely try this one because it's 75 ml for $22. So it's around 32 cents per mil. It's a great fragrance that I've recommended quite a bit here on the channel, and definitely one of the best fragrances for a woman that is looking to, you know, build a collection for, you know, inexpensively with the, you know, budget fragrances. So this is Youp LANVIN. I don't get the connection with the LANVIN because doesn't that mean it's a bath? But either way, I think it's a great gourmandish kind of a fragrance with all the great notes in there. And then finally, I'm going to end the list with another Lalique fragrance. This is Perle de Lalique. This one right here, created by Nathalie Lorson for Lalique. She's done quite a bit of Lalique. Encre Noir is one of the big collections that she's done, and she's done a great job here. This is Bulgarian rose, bourbon pepper, patchouli, cashmere wood, and additional notes. It's a cheaper style fragrance, and also is kind of reminiscent of something like all the rose patchouli sheepers out there, like a Portrait of a Lady and things like that. And if you like the idea of a very quality offering from Lalique, Lalique is a great house. It's one of my favorite designer houses that have quality fragrances. And also a lot of their fragrances are discounted quite heavily. So you can get these quality designer fragrances that are, you know, not necessarily smelling like all the other designer fragrances out there, because they're pretty unique to me. And then it won't break the bank here. Like this one, 100 ml for 28 bucks, really great. So it's 30 cents per mil approximately. And then of course, if you're looking for a alternative to Portrait of a Lady, you can't afford that one, this is definitely going to satisfy here. A great offering from the House of Lalique, and this is created by Nathalie Lorson. It's Lalique's Perle Lalique. Anyway, those are my fragrance suggestions, budget, inexpensive fragrances for the ladies. Let me know your thoughts on these fragrances. Are you a fan of them? Have you tried them, or have you been eyeing them? Again, if you are budget-minded, I think these are going to satisfy. They're definitely approved by me, and this is a ranked list, as I said, my favorite being the Lalique. Started off with the Guess Seductive Red at number 12. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on these fragrances, and also let me know some other great fragrances that are inexpensive but quality for the ladies. Put a comment down below so I can find out. But either way, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video, please share it, follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. So I'm going to give you one bonus option. I don't know if you can find this one at a discount. I was at a Marshall's recently. I picked it up for 20 bucks. It's the older bottle for Laura Mercier fragrances. This is Almond Coconut, this one right here. Picked it up for 20 bucks. I felt like it was a great deal. I looked up online and I don't see any discounted. And also the brand has changed bottles, so most likely the new bottles will not be discounted. But if you can find this one at places like Marshall's or TJ Maxx or Ross, get it, because $20 for a 50 ml turns out to be about 44 cents per mil. And it's a really delicious fragrance, by the way. Almonds, vanilla, coconut, heliotrope, powdery, almondy, nutty, coconutty, a bit beachy, but warm and vanillic. I think it'll satisfy somebody that's into these kind of nutty, vanillic, almondy, coconutty fragrances. I think it's totally worth it. I haven't smelled the new version in the new bottle, but this is the old bottle right here. It has been redone, and so if it's reformulated, I'm not 100% sure, but for 20 bucks, this is really great value. So if you can find it for that price, do find it and get it. Totally worth it. Anyway, thanks so much for watching today. See you guys tomorrow.